We're live. Hello. I never
Explosion.
counted down for anybody, so Sarah's just like on stream, like, "Hi, hello." I almost did like my oh gosh, my work intro. Like, "Hi, my name is Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I work." But hey, it's been a long day, so I mean that is true about me. My name is Elise, and I do use the pronouns she, her, hers. Thank you for the poem, Chelsea. We see it. We'll get to it in just a second. Welcome to Thursday night Spire time. And let's see here. We're gonna do our intro stuff, and then we're gonna do stress checks and recap, and then Rachel and Sam will pick new things for the week. Yeah, and then as you can see, once again, Tyler is just a photo, and by a photo, I do mean a drawing that Tyler did of Waxy for you
No,
all
it's a
to enjoy.
photo.
It's a photo of Tyler. But we're hoping, assuming things go the same way they did last week, that Tyler will be able to join us right around break time. So fingers crossed that we will see our the last of our players here with us tonight later. So let's do some introductions. I will pass it to Sarah.
I'm Sarah. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I play Din. Her pronouns are she, her, hers. And now I'm going to give it to Sam.
Woo! Hi everyone. I'm Sam. I play Eddic Charmuse, who's both of us go by he, him, his pronouns, and I'm gonna pass it up to Ava.
Hey everybody, I'm Ava. I play Chew. Both their pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm also part of the snack pack. And today's sponsors are Cheez-Its, Oreos, and these tiny little wasabi peas, and also Jasmine iced tea. What are y'all snacking on? Anybody? Nobody else is
Cliff
snacking?
Bar.
Cliff
Eva's
Bar.
Protein
Cliff
here.
bars,
Bar,
yeah.
sponsor of the stream, Cliff Bar and
Look
LaCroix.
away.
I've got
Yeah,
barley and shrimp and peppers with
what's a good
chimichurri
sponsor?
sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll pass it off through the ether towards Rachel.
Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Rachel. I play Alvy, and we go by she, her, hers. And back to you, Elise. I didn't look at the Twitch to see where you were.
That's fine. Um, that was everybody, right?
You threw
Did I?
her. I saw the catch up and you threw her off the screen.
Yes. She's gone. Thank you.
Sorry, the correct term is yeeted, Sarah. Thank you.
The youths. That's what it is.
We're trying to reach the youths. I yeeted her.
We did it. We sure reached the youths that way. I
Hi
have it on good
youths, how's it
authority.
going?
So who would like to read Chelsea's poem to kick the stream off?
I could do it.
Yeah.
A delightful recap of the campaign thus far. Every week, this group continues to raise the bar. Puzzles were solved, stress was dealt, and questions were asked. Hopefully, abundant knowledge is soon to be unmasked. As always, thank you, Spire Crew, for all that you do. Much love, I can see and hear you. Yay!
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
beautiful. Thank you, as always, Chelsea. It is sincerely a delight every time you write us a poem. So thank you so much. Yes, the past tense of yeet, yote, as we all know. This is really how we reach the youth, is imposing grammar rules on the words like yeet. Yes, the past tense of yeet is yote. Um, so let's let's just do a recap of what happened last session. Um, so players, what happened last session? Oh, you know what? We didn't do any helpful go intro stuff, did we? Hey, you
No.
can use exclamation point Discord to hang out with us on the Discord. We're a cool community of people. We're celebrating Pride Month this month. I think tomorrow, Friday, it's Sunday, Saturday. I got there. Saturday is our last of our Pride games. GM'd by the wonderful Chris, who has GM'd many of them, but not all of them, because we also had, I think, Andrew GMing one of our Pride games. So that was awesome, and played in by several of us on this stream. um, including myself. Saturday, I keep saying Friday, but it's not because tomorrow we are playing Moontree Isle, as far as I know, which I am super excited about because there are so many good things to do, and I love that game. So I hope you will tune in and watch several of us again playing that. GM'd by the wonderful Galway. Then next week you can watch maybe Goats of Saltmarsh on Wednesday, GM'd by
Actually,
Rachel.
yeah.
Um, and what?
That's it. Actually, yes, because we haven't played for a long time. But this
Yeah,
coming Wednesday, we will come back.
excellent. And then Thursday we'll be back to Spire. Friday, maybe Fates of Rin. Who knows? There's so many good things happening. And um, yeah, Chelsea, I'm gonna have to read my notes. Hopefully, I took some. I'm pretty sure I did. I usually do take notes. Oh, we had a big
I
fight
didn't.
last. Okay, we don't need to recap
Yeah,
tier.
we fought a yeah, Drider. Anyway.
Let's recap tier Montreal on the Spire stream. Okay, that's tomorrow. And there are many other cool things happening, including our Pride game this Saturday. I did it right. First try that time. You can also use exclamation point
Much confidence.
donate, exclamation point donate to find out about the cause we're highlighting this month, which as surprise, it's Pride related. The Trevor Project, which is a super cool group that does outreach to LGBTQ youth, specifically working on suicide prevention, which is a really big deal for the LGBTQ, especially in general, and especially right now when in suicidal ideation and things like that are on the rise among the youth in general because of COVID things. I know it's a really depressing thing to just suddenly throw at you. So thank you for bearing with me through that. But it is one of those things that's on my brain because I work in mental health, and I know we've been seeing a real uh, bad uptick in people and young kids, middle school, high school age kids having those kinds of thoughts, and it's always more prevalent among LGBTQ youth. So the Trevor Project is vital to our community. Our, in this case, just kind of the queer umbrella term, queer, which I know we'll argue about it another time in another channel, community, but also doing good work just to help the kids, help the youth that we are so desperate to reach through words like yeet. Um,
And if I can jump in real
Please.
quick, my company is doing a matching program. So if I would like to incentivize anybody here, if you do end up, this is like your call to donate. If you end up donating to a charity like the Trevor Project or something like that, and you reach out to me on Discord in the next week, I will be probably matching donations that get sent to me for $20 to $50, and then sending them to my company so that they can also get matched there as well. So this is your time to shine, people who've been thinking about it,
That's
as the pledge drive
amazing.
people say. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ava. That's amazing. You could triple your donation power with one
Yeah.
$20 donation today through Ava's work.
I
So
will
that would
send
be
you
amazing.
this wasabi pea in the mail.
That one specifically.
Maybe not this one, but the next one. I'll set it aside.
Okay, I think that's a lot of helpful goat stuff now. We would just love it if you kept hanging out with us. I know most of you already do. So thanks for being here. And now for realsies, players, what happened last Spire game?
All right, I have notes. Let's go. Okay. So, basically, the first thing that happened was Saren guided us down to her haven, which I had written down is specifically made of non-living building materials. Um, and Saren was being very secretive about having this puzzle, but we came to find out that it was given to her from uh, a kind of rival who's really good at logic, which Saren is unfortunately not. Fortunately for us, I guess. Um, I also wrote that the rival is an asshole. Um, so upon solving all of the puzzles, uh, Saren invited us to ask a few questions to a crystal ball, um, to which we asked a few who is Callisto's employer, which we learned was a person named Juasha Rhyme. Juasha Rhyme cracks beneath. Um, and that is also coincidentally the person who wants to elongate their life. Um, and we also learned that uh, they're in communication with the fourth sister, which is one of the demons. Uh, and this particular demon, is not really one that you should ever communicate with because bad things will happen. And what else did I have here? Oh, by the way, Juasha rhyme cracks beneath is an Elfir. Um, I have that there's a person who is Juasha's nemesis, or another person who's trying to kill Juasha, Marguerite Molly Duval, uh, who is an extremely powerful blood witch. Um, and we also don't like Marguerite.
Blood witches suck. Sorry.
Last but definitely not least, Edic asked, what would happen, worst case scenario kind of deal, if Juasha was successful in, with his endeavors.
Her
Juasha,
her endeavor.
her. Okay, I don't have a. I need to get a
Yeah,
pen.
I guess I don't know if you actually have that information yet as a party, but over the table, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, well, like
Um.
It was a
I don't
very
know.
ladylike demon incursion. We can
Wait,
infer.
are we gendering the demon incursion?
I don't
No,
know,
no,
but
no,
for the
no.
sake of narrative ease, maybe.
No, I think it was for Juasha, right?
Right.
Sure, yeah.
But we knew that Juasha was a lady. I thought it was. We were told before that the person who's
Mm.
doing this thing was a woman.
I think we just assumed.
I
Well,
Yeah,
thought
she's
it
no
was in the
lady.
thing. I thought it
I,
was. Sorry,
She's
I don't write notes, so this is just yeah.
I wrote wants to elongate their life, so I'm
But I mean,
useless,
like
I guess.
way like months ago, I feel like we found out that there was a woman who was trying to elongate her life. That's
yeah.
what I
So
remember.
yeah,
But
that is true. I think that's why I think that you should kind of at this point know Joasha is a woman. Is that I think that I did tell you over like as part of the game on the table, that the person who is trying to elongate their life is a woman, an Alfear woman, and assuming you've put together as a party that this is Joasha, then you could. Also, to Matt's point, Joasha has only ever been gendered as a woman to the party, but Saren uses both they, them, and she, her um, pronouns. We've talked about this as a party before, but I don't know if we've ever mentioned it over the table. So just to let everyone know, like both sets of pronouns are correct for Saren. I typically use they, them for Saren, but it has been established, uh, I think in character too, that they, them, or she, her pronouns are correct.
Um. So lastly, yes, the Edic asked, this question, and we all took an immense degree of mind stress upon
Not all of us.
the not well, initially all of us, but then Chu kind of just, handed it to me gingerly. 6 mind stress. I
just take this
peaked.
12 mind stress.
It was
Would you
hot
mind?
potato mind stress because
My peak total of mind stress last session was 14.
but Saren did
But Saren took all of mine.
well,
Well,
six
no,
of
no,
the 12, half
took
of
the
it.
6 that Chu gave to me. Um, and then yeah, and this was all upon witnessing a massive Spire, like the entirety of Spire was engulfed in a demonic incursion. It was cracking and collapsing, and not a pretty sight. Um, and because looking at that kind of unreality is, painful to the mind's eye, we all took all that stress, and then uh only one of us took fallout, but Saren is basically incapacitated right now.
Yes, all correct. That one of us was Din. And what happened, Din?
Din has a permanent phobia of things that are demonic, terrified of the vision that she saw. And so she very much wants to stop any demonic activity, but also wants to stay very far away from it. So
That's going to be
that's going to be
great for the rest of the campaign.
for the rest of the campaign and also just for you guys to have to put up with.
Absolutely no consequences will come from this for the
Does this
campaign.
get included with the weird obsession with goats, or is that just a separate thing? Or
So as a character choice that will be revealed, like the goats are dead. Like it's all about the demon incursion
oh,
now. That's all I
Oh my
am
Um,
about.
gosh.
wow.
so my one question, and I don't know if you've thought about this yet, Sarah, is has this phobia been like a light switch? Is it something you've noticed that, oh, now I'm mortally afraid? Or is it something a little bit more like under, like that you haven't quite picked up on yet?
So I imagine that in this moment, I don't like when I'm seeing it in the moment, right? Like I don't necessarily know that's what's going to happen, but then, whenever we interact with something, we're going to find out how Din reacts. And the way that I see it is more just like she was already like had so much trauma in her past and stuff that she was like at a breaking point anyway. And so this is just like that final straw. And
Mhm.
so she's just going to be a changed person in a not fun way.
Hey. That's what we
Okay.
needed here is less fun.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
take the
from
fun
Din
away.
especially.
I'm here for it.
Okay, let's get some stress checks. As always, you're invited to share about your real life, but I do need your character stress. Alvi, can you break it down for me? Anything blood, mind, and others, basically the categories that I keep?
No, I only have one stress and it's to silver.
Excellent, thank you. Chew?
Mhm.
Yeah, Chu is at exactly where she was before. I believe that puts her at, I have it pulled up somewhere. Please panic. Puts her at 4 stress still, 2 to blood and 2 to silver. My real life stress is it's all on fire. And then I'll go ahead and pass the next person.
Which would be in my notes, Anders, but Tyler isn't here, so we'll have to wait and find out because I have no clue because I lost.
Anders is dying. I'm sorry.
Anders probably is dying a little bit. Din?
We lost somebody.
Uh,
We unlost
and
somebody.
he's back. 3, 2 to silver still from before, and 1 to mind.
And Edic?
I'm at 8 stress.
Great. And can you break it down blood, mind, and other for me?
That's a very good pause.
That was a good pause face.
It was all mind.
It's all mind?
It's good to know.
Damn,
Damn.
son. You fucked up right now.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry
I'm
about
I'm
it.
I'm like on the cusp of aneurysm, like is kind of where I'm at.
Oof.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I'm sad
One
that
not even a
my
fallout.
one
my
little poke
mind
at Edic.
helpfulness is only helpful to me. So, because it's my bees, and I can't just be like, here, the bees will whisper to you and you'll feel calm.
Here's a question. Can you convert other people to bee religion? And then they're like, okay, now I understand bees.
If you want to go through the process of becoming a deep apiarist and having a living hive installed inside yourself, then
Is that
yeah.
a lot of
But
work? I figured they just kind of like crawl in and ta-da.
it's like a whole process. It's like a not easy
Oh,
process.
never mind then.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Getting bees inserted isn't easy.
I know. I'm sorry. You're right. They just live in my nostrils.
Just
Great.
2.
Okay, so Rachel and Sam, what would you like to take your max in?
I defo want to do fix to try and help a person. however
Okay.
they may need it.
Uh,
Um,
can you?
And in
I
that
think for
note,
a
real quick,
knack,
Oh,
go ahead.
can you be a little more specific? Like, I think
no.
knacks, like help a person is pretty
So, like,
wide
to like,
range.
basically, I want to try and help Saren. So, whatever, like, if I can do something, either if it's mental healing or body healing or something, if it's possible to try and help to roll something for that. Is that not
No,
good enough?
yeah, it is. It is. I'm trying to think like what I would want to kind of, 'cause, it wouldn't necessarily have to be so situation specific as to be Saren, but like, um,
Heal a person who's real fucked up.
okay, I'll take that. Thanks. And Sam?
Put that
um,
in your sheet.
I did. Fix to heal up a fucked
s-
up person.
so I'm thinking I want to take something to resist, but I outside of like, damage from the sun, I don't really remember what else resist encompasses.
So whenever I have an NPC or some outside force try to damage you, you roll resist against it. So
Okay.
if an NPC is trying to hit you with a club, that's a resist roll from you, not an attack roll from me, right? That's a difference in the mechanics between D&D and Spire is NPCs don't roll anything, right? It's all your resist. And so it can be something like you remember last campaign when Andrew's character was Ennis was having like the psychic attacks from that one person that was resist rolls. Something like the sun or whatever outside effects like that can be resist rolls, but any type of potential damage coming your way from things that I control, you roll resist for.
So I would like to take a knack in resist for like uh telepathic, psychic damage, anything that I think would result in I'm taking more mind stress because guess who can't afford to take more mind stress? Me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Good to know. Excellent. Then let's get started with today's session. So then, yes, you have just witnessed Saren collapse the cat. I was very pleased with my Schrodinger cat because you don't know if it's dead or alive because it just disappeared into.
This is how we reach the youth.
Thanks, Sarah. I can
Such a
always count
good
on you for,
asshole laugh.
yeah, for really supportive engagement.
I
Um,
love it.
okay, so um, you've just watched, Saren collapse and the kind of dust that has been ever present between both the cat and Saren has kind of disappeared, gone away, and Saren is just on the table out. The crystal ball has cracked, and uh, you all just witnessed a very horrific vision in the crystal ball of Spire, kind of the top third of Spire cracking and falling off of it as this demonic incursion.
So I think the
Uh,
first thing that's going to happen is Edic is just like about he's mid vomit right now. And like I think he empties out his stomach a little bit and wipes off his face. He's looking real good in this moment. And he's gonna kind of just like I guess turn to Alvi. And like at this point his eyes are probably like sunken in and yeah. Um Alvi, this is uh this is no mere pastiche. That was a full blown incursion. If you couldn't yeah, he's still vomiting.
He vomits in her mouth just a little bit.
I
Yeah.
say from that moment, Din like stumbled back and like wide eyes beneath her mask and like steps a little extra farther away from the group and is just kind of like staring into the middle distance.
And
Chu is gonna be like, so how's everybody feeling? That seemed like it was a little rough on people. That guy's cat turned to dust or something.
I'm gonna run to Saren
Okay.
and see if I can, like, I see the thing is I don't fully know like how fix works exactly. So like can I
Yeah.
figure out what it is that's going on with them and then
So
like
here's what we'll say. We can do um typically fix is used for blood stress. Um, however,
oh
that's not to say, I mean, like, I'm not just gonna be a total asshole and be like, let you take the whole your special knack in it and then tell you after the fact that you can't use it. I would say if you would like to first do something, you can roll an investigation, or if you have something else that you think would work for this, like an ability or something, if you can do something to figure out a way to help Saren, then I'll let you roll fix with the knack. And
can
it
I
will,
figure out a way to use Sven, my rat that eats curses, to maybe eat her mind stress some?
if you would like to investigate that possibility, I think that you would need to still roll and investigate to
Okay,
see if you can
let's
make
do
that
it.
work. Okay.
Okay, so I have investigate.
Do you have occult?
Uh, I do have a cult. So would that
Yes.
be 3?
Uh, yes, you have investigate, you have occult, you get your base 10, 3d10. Okay, a
Nice.
critical success.
Oh, it was
That's
like
The
on a 2 for the whole I was like,
Yeah, critical success. So that's excellent. Good news for you. I will say, as you're kind of you bring out Sven and you kind of like try to figure out, like based on what you
I
know
just
about
got this fucking rat. I'm just like, is this a curse? I don't know.
based on what you know about curses, which is, you know, curses are kind of an interesting thing because typically it involves like someone, like doing something. But what you kind of figure out through like watching Sven and thinking about what you know about curses and everything else is that in fact, like you think that the way that the stress got lobbed from person to person mimics the effects of a curse such that you could get Sven to kind of eat some of this mind stress off or like out of Saren. So now you can roll fix with your bonus. So if you have fix, you get that D10. If
I
not, then you
don't.
just get the knack. It's still a cult because you are kind of using the rat. Yeah, so it's going to be 3d10.
So don't I just get a thing even if I don't have it? Can't I still roll
Yeah, your
like as
base
a base
D10,
thing? And then my knack,
and then your knack, and
and
then
then
occult.
the occult, and then Sven doesn't help me by giving me a fourth one?
You can't get a knack or a mastery die twice. Sven
Oh,
is the tool or the instrument through which this is enabled for you,
okay.
but is not necessarily doing anything actively to assist, I would say as well.
So I'm just gonna look at Sven in my hand and be like, "Look, I know we've just met, and I don't actually know you, and you don't actually know me, and I'm sure we'll become very fast friends. And I don't actually know this person, but they know me very well, and it's very confusing. But anyway, I think they might be dying. So if you could maybe stop that with me, I think that that would be really great. And I'll give you some amazing cheese. I don't know, bloated corpses, whatever it is that you would like. I will give you some of it. This is gonna be bad.
I feel compelled by that speech.
Okay, that's an 8, which I believe. Let me look at my
Success, no
notes.
stress.
Success, no stress. So how exactly did we say Sven works? Let me pull up
I think
those rules.
If you're gonna give me
Sven
they
random
rules.
have
shit,
to
I'm gonna use it.
they
Oh,
So
have to
yeah.
sleep with Sven, right? And then when they wake up, Sven has eaten their curse.
Yes, I believe that's correct. And
oh, you're right. There's the whole thing to it.
additionally, I'm trying to figure out what happens
Maybe
to
Sven is just
Sven.
patting me on the shoulder and encouraging me as I whisper sweet nothings in Saren's ear. Alvy has no idea how to do that, so I like
Why don't you give
Okay.
it a try?
Yeah, you tuck Sven up into, I mean, Saren is asleep, so you tuck Sven up into Saren's kind of rough hide, leather, canvas, whatever it is, coat thing. And Sven kind of does like a couple turns like a dog and then just settles right down to sleep. And you have no idea, having not had Sven for very long, what will occur after this or how long Sven needs to be asleep. However, typically the idea would be like overnight you leave the rat with a person and this happens. So, yeah, you now have Saren passed out with Sven curled up asleep in their clothes.
And I just sit down next to her, cross-legged, and I just say, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay
I
here until they're ready."
yeah, she was gonna like step forward and be like, "It looks like all of you took that rather rough. Given the incapacitated nature of our guide, do y'all think it would maybe be best for us to perhaps take the night to reflect, search the place for loot, and maybe lay low a little bit,
Seems
and also
reasonable.
search the place?"
Din just sits down.
Yeah.
All right, vote for Din's
Wha
on it. I think we're
Why do
good.
you seem so
Din always is like this. What's wrong
No,
with
did that's true. You.
me?
Weren't you were you not bothered at all by the visions that we saw?
Honestly, that kind of stuff is always going through my head. It just kind of slips right off nowadays.
Your mind is a terrifying place.
Your mind is full of bees.
Yes, I know, it's so relaxing.
Must be.
Speaking of, can I sit here and relax again for a little bit and have my bees whisper to me sweet
Yes.
nothings? I don't know why everything is sweet nothings.
Yeah. So like over the
Um,
table, do we want to like lay low for a day?
I don't know how long that's a good idea. How long does that take, Elise?
I think a day. Like
Let me
it's like an
look.
action,
Well,
right?
so
We're allowed to choose, right?
it kind of depends, right? And that
Okay,
like
then I'll wait till
removing stress,
she
you
says.
can remove stress other ways too. So of course your refreshes, if any of you accomplished a refresh by like, I think I don't remember what all of y'all's are, but like uncovering information and stuff you kind of did do. So that is worth like thinking about. But also um you can refresh stress like, if you do things that are aligned with refreshing stress in the sense of like if you have blood stress and you take a night to like bandage yourself up and see a doctor, that can relieve blood stress. If you take mind stress and you do time, some self-care, I don't know, you meditate and do nice things for your brain. You would think as someone who works in mental health profession that I could tell you how to relieve mind stress, but boy, if it were that easy. But in the game mechanics, you can essentially do these things. And it takes time, but it will relieve stress. And the difference is if you lay low, you can take all of your stress, no problem, just goes away. If you do if you narrate to me, well, I'm gonna meditate for the night and sleep really well and like have a relaxing morning, I can say roll a d6 and then however much mind stress goes away, goes away. So that's the difference.
How do we get rid of things like silver stress and stuff like that then?
Go to work, make money, find someone to give you a loan.
Work. Okay.
Yeah. What
So
I'm
I
hearing
should
is
go
that
to
we should have a
therapy.
spa day.
Yeah, I think probably
Yeah,
should go to
remember
therapy.
Barnabas had a spa day where he put like liver and
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff on his face
Hmm.
and had a nice
Okay.
Um,
yeah.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, what are the chances that Saren has an eidolon just kind of around in their abode?
I would imagine pretty low because don't they explode when they enter the heart?
Oh,
They
right.
Yes, you don't know that for a fact that they always explode, but you do know that Saren forced you to leave your eidolon behind because of the potential that it could explode. And that it was a high enough risk that Saren would not let you come without leaving yours behind, which
It's just really convenient because, the first time that I handle an eidolon, I refresh D6 stress. So, like, if it was
you're
an
welcome to
option.
look for something.
Yeah, I'll look for something that's an eidolon, even though that's gonna
But
not happen.
but just remember, if you look for something and it goes poorly, you take stress.
Well, wait, yeah, so that's what I'm
Am I
saying. Like,
gonna
hold
take stress by just looking
If you
around?
have to
because
roll
you
and
can you don't know
investigate,
what you're gonna find. You could find like a box that like kicks you in the shins or
if
something.
you're just
Like,
looking
The
around, it
heart.
might be fine. But if she makes you roll investigate, then that's a potential to take
yeah.
stress
What you
Yeah.
and
should
have a
do is
major
let
fallout.
me lead the search on Chu because I think Chu is actually a little worried and despite her confident facade, maybe feels a little bit bad about almost killing some people. So I think Chu is gonna be like, what does everybody need to have like a relaxing spa day? And then who wants to help me look around for like things? And if we find like a mud mask, cool.
Okay.
If we need a mud mask, I can find one.
Okay, well, so what I'm hearing is that you, Etik, are down to help me look around. Din, do you want to help me look around?
No. No.
Okay, boss, you sit down there, get comfy. It's all good. I'll bring you a nice cup of beverage, whatever I find.
A nice
Uh,
cup of beverage.
a nice cup of beverage. So at this point, I will try and, I guess, an investigate would be the search.
Yeah,
Before
so
you do, before that happens, what is it specifically that we're looking for?
Anything.
Because
I'm
I have dead drop, which allows me to find, you know, a hidden stash of equipment that me and other
I
scholar or blah
you
blah
are
blah.
not technically in Spire right now. The heart is not Spire the same way.
Cat.
I would say if the thing says
cat.
anywhere in Spire you can
Oh.
open a door or whatever. I want to throw that out there. I'm going to say you can do it, but their Edic is knowledgeable enough of the heart and of the Vermisian to know that like this part of Spire or well the heart is not Spire and it works different and the Vermisian is not the same here if it exists at all here. So it will
I'm not talking about backdoor. I'm talking about dead drop, which is
it's
hidden
still
stashes of equipment.
but it's hidden stashes in the Vermisian, right?
No, anywhere. You have a network of concealed caches filled with useful equipment, and it just says that it doesn't list a location. It just says once per session find a hidden stash of equipment.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, you can definitely use that. Thank you for clarifying for me. So
Can I roll using that ability to like enhance my roll to like and then we get like a list of things that we find, like maybe stuff that would be part of the equipment stash and also maybe like some cool like I don't know, a gun, whatever he's got, whatever I guess they are I don't remember Saren's pronouns.
I have a
they or
gun.
she.
Oh yeah, so whatever they have like laying around, you find like I don't know, a face mask or a bathtub.
Yes, so here's what we'll say. Um Sam Edic can, yeah, equip a small group of people with generic equipment to perform a particular task. So giving people food or whatever they need to kind of like relax or sleep comfortably, whatever it is you want to kind of narrate that you can get from the dead drop. Chu will then look for other equipment that might confer additional benefits with her investigation.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm definitely finding like a sleeper mask for Saren. I'm finding a security blanket for Din, a safety blanket for Din.
Thunder
It,
jacket.
oh, yeah, okay, a fleece thunder jacket. There
Get a
you go.
weighted blanket.
And a weighted blanket.
Maybe
I just need
a
my
Probably
bees.
plushy
So
goat to hug.
I just need my bees. I'm fine surrounded by my bees.
probably a like a venti caramel macchiato for me.
What?
So
That's just
posh.
hanging around.
That's fair.
Um and what does Chu need?
Uh, uh, her manager, find
Okay,
Bev.
I'm not finding that. I'm sorry.
Just so you know,
um,
Waxy does it was Tyler, according to his character sheet, I think he keeps it up to date, has 6 stress. And I think that it's kind of spread out a bunch around a lot of things, so you could find any of those kind of generic things for Tyler or for Waxy / Anders would be fine.
Find them like a stuffed animal to stab. Or like a notebook
Just
to like
no,
plan their
find him
next
a
murder.
candle. Just find him a candle to
Oh, a
hold and melt.
candle. That's a good one.
You can just hold it and melt it slowly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chew is all about, I mean, just like any kind of like cleaning product. Like she feels
Okay.
kind of dirty down here. Yeah.
So who's rolling?
I mean,
So
I think that's not a roll, right? That's just an
Oh,
ability
okay. I
Sam
didn't
has.
know. Sorry.
Yeah. And what would Alvy like? Were you that weighted blanket?
No, I'm fine with bees.
Okay. Okay.
So
All
I guess
right.
I
just
mean, Elise could
bees.
tell me if it's enough, but I'm pretty sure that my bees are super comforting. So if I let them out around me and just crawl all over me and chat with them, because
yeah.
it says they whisper to me, so I'm
So
assuming
like
I can
get some
chat
like
with them.
sugar water or something so the
Right.
bees
Okay.
like
So get some sugar water for my bees. There you go. You're
Yeah.
right. I'm
There we go.
sorry. I
Yeah.
should have cared more about their needs.
Some nectar,
yeah.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So Edic procures these things out of a dead drop and
Oh, right. Okay.
distributes them around to everybody. So everyone just has some nice little creature comforts for the night to kind of help ease mind, ease their minds. And Chew, you can roll investigate to try to find
Have
other things throughout. So you can kind of narrate to me, like, in addition to what Edic has procured from the dead drop, what else would you be looking for um, tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I really do think that Chew would just be like, I think Chew understands that there's a lot of interesting things here at the very least. Like, she wants to take a look in that box. And she wants to just look around for other interesting occult things. So I'm hoping that I can roll occult and investigate. I don't have investigate, so I don't remember. I mean, if um Edic can assist me, I don't know if you have investigate, but
I do.
is that something that is feasible at least?
Yeah, as long as like Edic, like Sam, if you think Edic would, then that's fine with me. Like it can kind of be like as you're sitting there, you're kind of like, oh, don't forget, maybe don't touch that kind of stuff.
He has
Yeah.
his caffeine. He's good to help out so long. I mean, he makes it very clear. Uh, In no way, shape, or form am I incurring any more stress. Yeah, I am beyond my limits.
Just point, and I will use my slender little fingies to dig around in this hovel. Okay, so I rolled
Yeah.
3d10, right?
Yeah, because you're borrowing investigate, occult, and
Hey, an 8. That's pretty good, right?
it is good.
Nice.
It's a success.
Cool.
So with a success, you find, well, first of all, the box, which is unlocked, you open, and what you find inside, um, is a collection of things that I would say you don't understand their significance from looking at initially. There are some pages of notes that are written in a code or in another language. Honestly, you couldn't really tell. This could be just a totally different alphabet or it could be a code. Um, there's some fragments of things like a crystal shard. There are little, like a lot of broken things that are broken. Um, Things that came from Spire. You look at these and you think that from what you've seen of the heart, these look much more akin to stuff that you would find in Spire rather than in the heart, but all of them are broken shards of, um, you know, like a coin that's actually been somehow like snapped in half, a very clean line straight through the center. You find a tassel from some sort of cushion or something, but like all of the threads underneath it have been sheared at this very strange angle. It's a lot of things like that, and this stack of notes. Um, to you, it probably looks like a bunch of junk, though it was protected by this very strange logic puzzle.
Okay. Is that all I find, or are there things that
Oh,
I?
yeah. So then around the rest of it. So first of all, I mean, like you successfully with kind of Edic's like, maybe not that from his like occult tinglings of like, don't touch those things. Um, you kind of navigate around certain items that would have been particularly bad to have interacted with without Saren's guidance. And instead, find a few things that are just really useful. You find where Saren cooks and eats, you find storage of food that you can kind of easily prepare for everybody without much, it's Saren's store of food. You also find this strange device on the wall that when you open it up and you kind of press your ears to it and you listen for a minute, you can hear chatter as if it's very distant, far away, and some bells ringing as if they're tolling an hour to kind of and uh your hunch is that you are actually hearing like another, so you're in a haven right now. You think you are hearing a connection to some other haven where there are more people. And you can hear like an hour bell being tolled,
Hmm.
and it would indicate to you that it is approaching. If the hour tolling is the same down here as it is in Spire, it would indicate to you that it is approaching nightfall in Spire. But you don't know if that's actually what the case is, for what those bells are. You find, what else find? You find in Saren's notebook, which you poke through a bit, you find other entries that seem to be written by Alvi. You find one that is, like has some like annotations on it from Alvi that says something like, um, not sure what happened, but note to self, when the crystal ball cracks, make note here. And you can slide that over to Alvi if you want. Otherwise, in the notebook, it's a lot of like, it looks like investigation notes. Usually Alvies are very easy and clear to follow, of like something that has gotten Saren's attention, and you are now like reading about how Alvi has kind of digested the information. And when you come across Saren's notes, it's just like as confusing as it is to interact with Saren. It's just like there is no logical flow to what's going on.
Did the crystal ball crack? Okay, so it did. Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
So I'll probably do that. And slide that towards Alfie, and I'll be like, I think you maybe left yourself a note here from the future slash past of this notebook. Maybe this will make you feel better. Get some good old note taking, you know?
I do
I
love note
will,
taking.
yeah. I will kind of lay out some of the other things and be like, if anybody has any significance attached to these, let me know if you can think of anything, but it's all just really confusing. Is that all I find for now?
Um, I think so. I think everything
Okay.
here is just so foreign to Chew that there's not really
Can I have a piece of
much that like makes sense to you, or that you feel comfortable like investigating without possibly triggering some kind of effect that would be dangerous.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
I do want to ask, like, I know that Saren is sort of like to to Edic until now, Saren was like a mythological figure. Um, and so I think without like, what would he be able to like see? What would catch his eye? That because something here has to be particularly eye catching to him. I'm sure, but I don't want to like roll investigate. I just kind of want to look around and see what I see.
Yeah, I think glancing around, and with kind of your occult background, and also as a Vermisian sage, and knowing that Saren's background was as a Vermisian sage at one point, um, a few things catch your eye. I think some books catch your eye. I'm sure Chu would have gone through the books a bit. Maybe nothing catching Chu your eye in terms of things that you would find useful or interesting, but because Edic spends so much time in the vault and things like that, you notice some tomes, some volumes, and things that you think maybe you've seen around. in the Vermicene before, and you remember that place that you first came to find the tunnels, Saren's tunnels.
Yes.
There was this weird dusty um, like area that was seemed to be like someone else's storage location that you eventually connected to Saren that seemed to have been abandoned for a long time. You're kind of placing a few of the things you noticed in that space here as well, like connecting those two things. Some things that seem to either be duplicates or perhaps the exact same item that are existing in some weird time shenanigans between the two locations. Um, but in retrospect, knowing what you know about Saren and dust, the amount of dust in that place may actually have indicated Saren's presence there rather than her lack of presence there. Is one thing that you kind of come to conclude from your investigation.
And while everyone's puzzling over stuff, I think that Chu is going to like grab the obviously like the apron with bees on it. Obviously, that has to be there, of course, a gift from the future / past or whatever. And she's gonna throw that on and begin to prepare what is probably a truly horrific meal because I do not think that Chu can cook.
And none of
Uh,
these ingredients are terribly familiar with you in the heart, so
Yeah, she's gonna do her best to mimic what she thinks cooking looks like, and come up with an end product that hopefully doesn't inflict damage.
if you want to roll a luck roll on that with no stress will be dealt for
Oh,
this, but just to
I
see how it
will.
goes. D10.
A 3. Oh no, a 3.
All right. Yeah, Chu comes around and distributes a meal to all of you. And with a 3 out of 10 as
Looks
her
like meat's back on the menu, everybody.
you
Tell
can
you
And I
that Din
serve you
doesn't eat
what
it because she's despondent. So she just took it, put it on the ground.
as eager as always to eat my cooking, Din, I see. I think she was like convinced nothing is wrong with Din. She'll pick up eventually, but for now she's just like, oh, Din, you know me.
anybody
Think
try the food?
Edic like sniffs it and then just keeps drinking his venti caramel macchiato.
I have a feeling Waxy would go for it. I think
Yeah, Waxy's
I mean,
Waxy's full in.
I'm
Tyrion.
absolutely eating it to be polite.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm definitely just like, oh, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to make this food for us.
Yeah, I mean, no big deal, but I do take tips in the form of like magical items. So if you see anything around,
Does Edic know that the mind stress like transferred from Chu to him to Saren?
I don't think so. I don't know that there
Okay.
would be any reason why he would know that.
Hello, Rika.
Yeah, sorry. She probably saw a dog walking by. Now she's mad.
So rude.
A lot.
Love her.
She's all the way like up the stairs and across the room.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think Chu, I want to add one other thing that Chu came across in the digging up of things. And that will be a a sword. Um, it strikes you that perhaps this weapon, while not identical to the one that Anders is seeking, is similar to the one Anders is seeking. And the Waxy, I think, is the wrong um manifestation of Anders to ask. I think if you kind of like show it to Waxy, he's just kind of like, oh yeah, I mean like looks like a cool sword. Like I bet yeah, that seems like something I want, but like insofar as like Anders is still there, like you get the impression that yes, Anders is interested in procuring this if you feel so inclined.
yeah. I will say that Chu definitely did use the sword to cook. and like chop up ingredients and stuff, and
Sure.
that she's like, yeah, everyone needs a good knife, and she'll just kind of like pocket the sword for now with the intention to maybe give it away at a later time, just because she doesn't. It's something that she doesn't really care that much about. It doesn't hold value to her really, so she'll probably see if anybody can make use of it later.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do before we kind of like wrap up the night and let you all do your roles for stress relief?
Oh, sorry. Uh, I'm probably gonna just be like casually chatting to Saren as though they were awake and just asking questions that I know won't be answered, but also just kind of talking about since I know that we have some form of relationship, whatever it is, close friendship, whatever. Um, I think that I would just be trying to talk to her in a very, friendly way and just catching her up on things, what's going on with us and what we learned about them in the vault or when looking around all the things and finding their because it was them that had the like whole alphabet or separate thing, right? Yeah, so I think I'll just spend the time like casually talking with the passed out person next to me.
I think Edic has had a day, um, and thanks to this venti caramel macchiato, he has enough energy to do one thing. And if anyone is looking at Edic, you're gonna see him scratching into a piece of paper his latest invoice for Lukash, which includes the itemized things that yielded 8 mind stress. uh don't know how that ends up turning into money, but Lukash is gonna pay for it.
You think. Yeah, I like the idea that that is a form of self-care for Edic. It's just being like, I'm gonna make Lukash pay. Like,
Let me itemize this.
yeah, I'm gonna
I
bring
feel
my
like
bill to
right now
somebody.
Rachel really wants to check in with Din, but I just feel like Alfie would be too distracted by like feeling bad about this like person almost dying that I'm supposed to like know very well, and it's a really weird like how do I get to know this person that I'm supposed to be really close with if they're dead? And so it's just kind of like not intuitive at all to the fact that you're fucked up.
Yeah, Din takes her, weighted blanket slash thunder shirt and just lays down in a little ball and just keeps
I
staring.
I think Chu's gonna try and find the only bed in the area and just like claim it as their own and be like, "Man, y'all seem really rough out there. Oh, good night."
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
So everybody can roll for relieving stress. Thanks to the items that Edic and Chu were able to kind of find and give around. I think what I'll do is say that everybody can relieve 2 mind stress just without a roll, and then roll a d6 and relieve additional d6 mind stress. I think that's
Here's a
well,
weird
or
thing
not
Yeah.
is
just,
that
yeah, relieve additional stress.
so I have uh 2 blood and 2 silver stress. Can I relieve 2 blood stress? And then can I look around for little knickknacks and things that may sell for value in perch so that I can maybe take those back because like small things have like extra
Yeah,
value there and then sell those off to relieve some silver stress?
yes. The interesting. The
I'm
small in
sorry,
terms of
please
like
keep going.
small gods and things like that and having value, you know that sometimes the priests will buy those kinds of items, although typically they're thrown away when they seem to have like lost their usefulness. I think what you find more that's valuable is not really those kinds of things. That's not really what Saren has in stock here. But what you do find are miscellanea, kind of near the bookshelves that Edic has been investigating that you go back to after seeing Edic have an interest in them that seem occult in nature, but contained like vials of liquids and little things like that that you think you can sell to occultists and make a good profit off of, although you're not proficient.
I have occult, yeah.
Okay, with an investigation occult roll, you could find out more about these. I don't think you know what they are by looking at them, but you
It
do
is
think.
done.
Okay. So the 8 is a success, no stress. You guys are very lucky on these rolls tonight. And wait, why do you have 3?
I just realized that. You know what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna be like, hey, Edic, I found some cool stuff. If do you wanna tell me, like, help me figure out what it is, and I can cut you in for part of the profits, 50, 50 40, 60, 60, 40.
Wow.
At a glance, do I know what it is I'm looking at?
Um, you're being asked for assistance, not to make a roll yourself. So this would be lending investigate to Chew.
Yeah, you
Mostly,
got it.
honestly, because I made a mistake and rolled 3 dice, and I need to justify it somehow. But
Because you want that
Okay.
8.
I figured that Edic is always down to make a profit, right? I think Chu knows that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Edic's not like about the money, but like if Chu asks him for a favor that isn't gonna incur him stress, he'll probably
Did
do
you
it.
just say Edic's
Wasn't
not about the money as his relaxing thing that he does is writing an itemized receipt to get paid?
Yeah, there's a difference
Yeah,
here.
that's about
This is
properly
something he's
distributing
owed.
blame.
Yeah, wasn't Edic like trying to nickel and dime Lukash earlier?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, because this is stuff he's owed. There is a difference.
It's a warped sense of justice, not money.
Yeah, it's a word. Yeah, exact. Thank you. At least the GM gets Edic.
Okay, so what you find, what you think you found are components for witchcraft, specifically blood witchcraft. So the thing that immediately comes to mind is if you need to be on Molly Duvall's good side, you think that these are probably some things that if you don't sell them or if you sell them to her, could get you a favor perhaps with her, and it's things like coagulated blood of some sort of monster or creature inside this one vial, and in another one is this kind of black ichor that between the two of you you kind of like spend a little bit of time puzzling over and like very delicately like dab and test and all these things, and kind of conclude that this is probably like also blood, but of some other type of creature, maybe like those harpies you saw get eaten by the heart itself. Something like that. It's 3 or 4 of these little vials that, as you kind of look them over, um, they are definitely varied types of blood. That blood witches would use. You're not sure why Saren has them, but definitely valuable to blood witches, and especially blood witches who do not live in the heart, where these things might be a little more easy to come by.
The rolls that we just did, that was just for mind stress, right?
No, so the 2 that you could erase just like from all the things I was saying should be mind stress, and then everything else you can kind of distribute your stress.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
because I'm a good and benevolent GM, so
You are. I'm at 0
True.
now.
I'll just make a note for Anders, for Tyler to uh roll. Okay, so Alvi, you are now at 0.
Yes.
Chew, new stress count.
if I get the 2 blood stress off, and I don't know if I get the silver stress off or not, immediately.
Yeah, I guess silver is kind of a weird one to. Oh,
Can we say, like, in the future, like, I sell it and just have that kind of be something that happens once I get back to the surface?
yeah, and we're
Or
just kind of treating this as like a general refresh, so I think that it's fair to say silver stress can come off too, because
Good, because I did that, because you
yeah,
said
yeah,
so.
because I did say, and I think that that's fair. Since I'm kind of
Yay!
treating it as just a refresh, not as. So you're back to 0?
So if I can refresh, do I refresh 2 or 3 silver stress? Because I have 2 stress with 1 resistance to silver.
What did you roll?
I haven't rolled. I didn't know what I was supposed to roll. I
Roll a
forgot.
d6.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm here for it. A d6. I rolled a 6.
You can refresh 6 stress. So we'll
So
say the 2 blood and
I'm at
then
0 for everything.
okay.
Yep.
You're
Yeah.
thank you. Din.
1. 1.
How many stress did you still have?
And
I had 3.
So didn't you lose 3?
I only lost the 2 to mind, and then I only lost 1 from the roll.
Mm.
Okay, Attic, you're down to 2.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And you all sleep, or spend the night doing whatever type of restful activity. And let's see. You wake up to the box that Chew had found that has this noise that comes through it, that you can kind of listen, that Chew kind of listened to and could hear like the bells tolling and things. You wake up to that box making this kind of blaring noise, just like this low, long, like "mwah" noise. And all of you kind of startle awake, I think, at this, having fallen asleep at various times throughout the night. And as you do, Alvi, you look over and you see Saren looks, I believe it's for whom, to be grammatically correct, Matt, just so you, but because this is how you reach the youths, right? Okay, so you look over, Alvi, and you see Saren looks less like pale and bad, less bad. Um, they do not stir at this kind of blaring alarm thing that comes through um, the the box on the wall, but they do look not as awful. And the rest of you kind of come to and wake up, and there's no other change to the room, right? It is all just exactly the same. The haven is exactly the same. Like there's no sunrise or sunset. There's no change to the lighting. There's nothing like that. But it's a little bizarre because even in Perch, I think you get a lot more sunlight than most Drow in the Spire, and so to kind of have this like experience of just nothing. Yeah. You are awake and you have refreshed your stress. Theron is not as awful looking. What would you like to do?
They awake or no?
They are not awake. You have not.
Ah, shit. My cat's caught in a bag. I need to go rescue him. Sorry.
Save the
Got a
cats.
3816 cat cotton bag. Request for
Think
backup.
when Eddic wakes up, he like reflexively grasps for his Penrose triangle, and it's not there. He gets a little sad, and then I think he goes to look at Saren, and um how is Saren looking?
Better. Still asleep. But this does not look. Yesterday's when you kind of when Alvi put Sven on Saren as Saren was like passed out. Saren looked passed out, looked unconscious. Saren looks asleep now, in a way that's much more natural and like less awful. Um, yeah.
Who do we think was like the first person to like be up in Adam?
I mean, the alarm kind of woke you up at all of the same time, and Alvi
Yeah.
was also going to check on Saren. So I'd say the both of you are together um, at Saren at this point, looking, kind of checking Saren over.
Should we wake them up? This Yeah.
Here, I'm sorry, there was cat, and then my friend Vin showed up, and so I was just distracted. It's fine. What was the question?
Should we wake them up?
Yes, but how do we? Is there a nice way? Should we shake the shoulders? Should we do a slap to the face, or
I
gently?
do
I
not
don't.
think the slap to the face is a nice way to wake up.
Chu is
That
gonna call out from their bed and just be like, do it quietly, however you do it. And she's just gonna curl back asleep in the complete stranger's bed whom she mind shattered like moments ago.
okay, I'll just gently shake their shoulders at first, just gently.
Okay.
This is
Um,
gently shaking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sven pops out of their clothing and kind of crawls up onto their shoulder, and kind of like stands on their back. It's his back legs and kind of like reaches out to you, like wanting to be picked up or taken into your custody now. Um, and if you do so,
Does Sven look full?
Sven looks, um, Sven looks about the same. There's not really much difference. But Sven does just kind of, assuming Alvi takes Sven back,
Of
um,
course.
just kind of like finds a spot to kind of perch and sit, and doesn't seem to be sniffing around for food or doing anything else. So, given that
Sven,
rats
Sven,
eat anything,
did you do it, Sven? Sven,
Sven just is just sits on your shoulder and
Sven.
looks around the room a little,
Drops a little rat turd.
drops a little rat turd.
Gonna
And
bring out a bee to kind of look in Sven's face and be like, "What do you think, bees?"
Yeah, I mean the bees do just kind of buzz around Sven, which freaks Sven out a little bit, and it
Sven, you're gonna need to get used to this. This is just a part of the whole deal.
have you been kind of gently shaking Saren this whole time?
Yes.
Um, Saren eventually, like with the gentle shaking, like just reels up, like arms flailing, falls backward in their chair, and is like, "Ah, damn it, Alfie! How many times do I tell you you gotta slap me awake?"
I suggested that, and then I was told that was mean. So this is why I'm assuming
But
this is
by
why we're close
whom?
later, is because we're on the same wavelength, just not quite there yet.
Uh, Edic is gonna quickly go and rush over and find a nearest tea kettle. And Edic, I think, is really interested in finding out uh the dynastic memories of Saren.
Okay.
So apart from also, let's have a whole party re-up on our abilities. I don't have the page in front of me, so yeah, it looks like you're looking it up. Um,
I
uh,
am looking it up. It's page 67, if you have the book. So your options are Destera the Weavers, Isin the Unquiet Blades, Malrik the Unlidded Eye, Valwa the Silver Blooded, Grindel the Crimson Hunters, Steris the Drowned Kings, Aliquam Repairers of Reputations, Duval the Grave Cold, Quinn the Noble and Most High.
um, I would say I would happily leave this in either your hands, Elise, or in Alfie's hands. Which one you guys feel is most indicative of Saren?
You
But
Uh,
Elise,
also
because I wasn't paying attention closely enough.
I need to roll a D3 stress real fast.
Are you doing the house thing? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. All right. Okay. I took 2 stress to mind.
yeah, I think that you determine that Saren's kind of ancestral house is Malrik, the Unlidded Eye, cannot be surprised or ambushed is the ability
That's
that.
me too.
Cool. You share
Yay.
ancestry.
So now both of us can't be surprised by nonsense. Huzzah.
This is why Alvi and Edic are so close.
Cool, yeah. And just so everybody is aware, Anders is back. Waxy is no longer um here because of the way that the ability that Anders used to become waxy.
Tyler's
Um,
gonna be happy that he doesn't have to be waxy anymore when he gets back.
yes. You do Anders is kind of typical brooding Anders is interested now in the sword. I think if Chu still has it and does not care, then would probably ask to take it from Chu.
Yeah, I think Chu is going to be like, "Hey, today wasn't all bad. You got a sword. Check it out. Pretty good.
Make
Remember
me do
your good
Anders'
old friend
accent.
Chu found this laying around, deserted in here waiting for you, and we would have never got it if I hadn't
Kindness of her
nearly
heart.
killed everybody." So
I will wait for Tyler to be here to kind of play out the discovery of the sword a little bit.
Do an Anders accent.
Yeah, but then I'm just gonna be like answering my own questions about it instead of like Tyler getting to like discover the sword. That's not fun. So yeah, Anders will just kind of thank you in his very deep voice that I cannot do, and will take the sword from you and can spend some time kind of looking it over, as well as I think being the practical person that he is, might also kind of suggest if everybody is willing, we should probably get going. Um, and Saren,
Going to where?
back to
So
Spire.
we came here just for the crystal ball to almost kill us.
What else? Saren will look at you and be like, I mean, you can stay. I don't- the you don't.
I just thought I thought there was maybe more. I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Also, you were getting the answers to the questions. It wasn't just yeah. But I mean, if you want to do other things in the heart, you're welcome to. But
I think they're asking you on a date. Alfie,
A
take it,
what?
take it. They're asking you on a date.
But we're busy. We're hunting demons.
Demons? Demons?
Excusez-moi. We are not hunting demons.
I mean, but you know what I mean. The demons with the I don't really know what we're
I
doing
did not.
anymore. I'm
Is,
sorry.
is this what we are doing? I did not sign
No.
up for this.
Shit.
You need
No.
to leave. Can we leave? I'm done here.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I guess let's head out. Maybe y'all can, schedule a picnic date later, huh? I got your back.
Din, you got your voice back.
I don't recall.
It reminds me, for anyone who follows Critical Role, when like Marisha has Bo play like, what's her like really femme like?
Oh yeah,
She's
like
like,
Jennifer,
yeah,
Kimberly, whatever.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So y'all don't have to leave the heart. To make it clear, I wasn't trying to pressure you as the GM, but you did come to get the answers from the crystal ball, solve the things from Saren,
I don't think
and
Albie ever fully understood why they came. It was just like, come now, we have things to do. And I'm just like, oh, okay, sure, yes.
yeah, Saren.
Wait, before we leave, could we at least discuss maybe what we're doing next? I feel like that's maybe
I think we're going
important.
home, right?
But to do what? We just slept. And we have to
Yeah, and
we
then
don't have
we
time
like
anymore to tell us what
go.
to do. So what are we
I
what's our next step?
so we can maybe talk about this while we're walking out of here.
There's
I
ears everywhere.
I think that's a good time for us to have long, in-depth, in-character conversations uh, in whatever characters you want. I mean, I would probably just play myself, and then Chu kind of elaborates. But if you want to be like a crazy duke or something, go for it.
Yeah, or like the Candlekeep Killer or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be insane. And we could probably maybe. I mean, I know Lukash is not present, but maybe we could discuss our next steps for maybe dealing with the person who has like taken a hit out on them, right? Now that we know more and can maybe like follow it up the chain some, we can liberate our great leader and get them back in that room and make sure it's chairless to slowly drive them insane. Like the proper proper citizens of Spire, not this bullshit assassination crap.
So, I am all for the liberation of Lukash. Uh, because they owe me dearly. However,
So because we don't want them to be killed.
that too, yes, yes, of course, of course. But it occurs to me that if we were to just let Marguerite and Joasha go head to head, um, I think that the outcome that we all saw is all the more likely to happen. Um, I think that perhaps um we should either maybe convince um Joasha that hey, this undying surgery is not all that bad. Or the more likely thing, easiest solution would just be to, I guess off her, maybe. Eh? No take else?
How would we? How? So I like the idea of. I like the idea of making the fight, even though I never ever. If I hope the Blood Witch gets what's coming to her, obviously. But how do we do that? We don't have contact with the Blood Witch, and I don't want to. We don't have
Well,
contact with this other person, and then how do we get them to be against each other? We don't have some kind
it's
of intricate network that can do that, do we? I mean, maybe Andrews does, but
uh there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. Edic does not want to make that fight happen because I think I Sam, and coincidentally Edic think that if they were to try to fight, that the demonic incursion would be more likely to happen.
oh, so we want to stop that fight,
I don't care
or
about stopping. I'll go back into character. Um, I'm not concerned with stopping the fight, but it has not happened yet. It has not begun. But I think we should either convince Juasha to not extend their life through demonic means, or again, more easily would just be to off them uh
you think that would
person.
be easy?
I think it would be simpler, maybe not so easy.
Fair.
Um
I don't know how we would do
I'm
any of
just
this.
trying to minimize the risk of the entirety of Spire going up in demonic hellfire.
Is that crystal ball? I mean, we're not allowed to ask questions about the crystal ball, right? That was one of the rules about the crystal ball. But is the crystal ball absolutely that's what's going to happen, or is that just a possibility? Is it just a thing that shows you possibilities, and not necessarily what is going to happen? Does it actually know the future? Does Sarah know some of the future? Since Sarah knows us from different timelines, does Sarah know some of what happened? Sarah, do you know anything about this
The
demonic incursion?
crystal ball is cracked. I do not think we are going to learn
No, 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 no,
much
no, no, no,
more.
no. I don't mean that. I mean what it showed us. Do we know if that's real? Do we know if that's definitely going to happen? If that's
Well,
just one pathway of what could happen? Saren is in different timelines than us, and Saren obviously knows us from different times. So has that happened to Saren? Does Saren know about
all I could say is the
that?
question you asked was whether or not what would be the worst possible outcome. So that's a potential, or, like what might happen. I don't think it's going to necessarily be what does happen, but I have no fucking clue about linear time. Don't ask me. I don't know what's happened, what hasn't happened. If I say things and it all fucks up, there's rules to this shit. That I hate them. Also, Saren
Fair.
does take
Because
some time to look over the crystal ball, um, and just kind of, observe it having the crack and everything, and it's just like, ah, damn it.
At like the initial mention of the crystal ball and stuff, like Din like realizes like where is it, and then when she sees that Saren has it, she is just like, nothing to do with that, like standing far back.
When that
Um,
happens, Saren kind of like watches you a little bit, like sees this happen, and like you see her kind of crimson eyes like settle on you for a moment, and they just kind of nods slowly a little bit and is like, interesting. And that's all.
Did Alvy write notes in the book? I don't remember if we ever went back to that.
Yeah, I would have, if you handed it to me, I would have written down notes about what happened, where I instructed myself to, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that because you handed it to me, so I think that I would have. I just didn't specify.
Weren't we also discussing going to see a blood witch at some point for some reason? And I don't remember why, but wasn't that on our list of things to do, like interacting with a blood witch?
I mean, all I have is that, you know, members of our party hate blood witches, and we now know the name of one.
I think it might just be me that hates blood witches.
I think it might also be Anders.
What's the relation of the blood witch that we know? Sorry, I'm just trying to
Um,
get it all straight in my head.
Molly Duvall has a reputation, is one of the few blood witches that many of you could name by name. Sir, I think it was Edic who kind of recalled Molly to mind as someone who might be involved in all of this, but Molly would
Yeah, she's
be.
the enemy of our enemy kind of deal, right? We were
Yes,
looking
it's an
for
enemy
somebody
of
who
our
could help
enemy.
us
You were
fight.
looking for someone. I think the question that you posed was like, who is, like the like strongest, or there was some sort of superlative used around like
I think it was
the.
who is most
I think it's
willing and able.
who wants to see Juasha dead.
Yeah, like who most
Yeah,
wants
I think that was the
Juasha
question. Yeah.
besides us, who most wants Juasha dead or injured, taken out of the game or whatever. And the answer was Molly Duvall. And yeah, I think all of you to some degree, to lesser and greater extent, would have some knowledge of Molly Duvall. She's a little bit of like a almost like an anti-celebrity, right? Like the kind of very
Ooh.
infamous for being a quite powerful blood witch, and that it was maybe a year or two ago that she kind of stopped being in the public, like in the news every now and then, or like sightings of her had happened and then they stopped. So it's been a little while since her name has come up, but this kind of confirms for you that she's still a player in some way.
She
I
was
hate to, I hate
excited.
to,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I hate to backtrack, but we roll for Fallout every single time we take stress, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I took 2 stress for doing the demonic
Uh,
dynastic memory thing.
yes. And
So
what
I
what
need
did that stress
Oh,
go
but
to?
this was after you already lost stress, so you're not at like 75
Yeah,
already.
I'm at 4 stress right now
And what
total.
the two that you rolled, is that mind stress?
Yes. So I'm a sum total of 4 stress to mind and total.
Hey, roll for Fallout. It's a 4, but if it
If it
meets, you're
if it
fine.
meets, it beats.
Um,
Okay.
so it has to be
Did you just
under your
it
current
meets
level of
the
stress.
eats?
If
If
it
it beats, it
meets, it
eats.
eats.
Unlike in D&D and Spire, if it beats, it eats, so you're fine. And barely fine, but fine. Um, yeah, so you still have 4 stress, but you do not take Fallout.
Okay,
Ow.
sorry.
No, good. I guess we can. Yeah, we just have to think of a plan, of a step forward from this, because basically our goal is to stop the swan, right? We don't need to give ourselves a larger goal than this. Our goal from the
Just to
ministry is to stop the swan. Or no,
refresh, like the swan is part of it, but the original impetus that Lukash had you investigating was both the swan and the
drugs.
influx of drugs.
Okay.
Did we ever determine how the drugs are related to everything? I mean,
Demonic
we know they're
act-
related to the demonic incursions, but is it just like them making money for funding to like do more horrible things, or?
Well, remember they were doing like the experiments with the Eidolons and stuff, real early in the campaign.
Yeah, back when we still had a
Okay.
Rauka.
Rauka.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so
all
We still had a Rauka.
associated and erased those memories.
yeah, what you know is that demonic activity creates sulfur, sulfur, and its less pure form Drek, which is the drug that is flooding Perch right now. It's like epidemic style, just everywhere problem, killing people. Drek is from sulfur, and sulfur is from demons, and so this huge uptick in demonic activity would then lead to get rid of drugs or sulfur, and it's could be connected that that's what's happening.
So right now, all right, back to character. Um, well, it appears we probably should, I don't know, do a reconnaissance, try to learn more about Joashua Rhyme cracks beneath, and I don't know, attempt to get close. Uh,
I
w-
would like to get maybe a word in with this mysterious anti-celebrity infamous blood witch lady who sounds like it would be a great partner for both ministry things and maybe like a PR thing. But I'd be a little hesitant to send Bev in to say, hey, Bev, can you go book this blood witch for me? Thing.
oh,
That'd be a little much.
I like this opportunity. What is the ministry's stance on Marguerite?
I assume it would just be if we're, the ends justify the means like everything else, if we're doing it for the cause, then it's like, eat a baby, whatever you got to do, like they don't care.
Elise,
Uh,
to clarify, are blood witches considered an agent of the heart
um,
or occult magicians?
yes.
Okay. So yeah, my advance is to destroy one of them. So like Alvy super is like, you do what you want, but I'm not working with something that disgusting.
Yeah, and also
She's not
like
coming around my
it's
piece.
the ministry in general would, as Chu said, like take a pro, do what's necessary to like, to achieve your means, but the ministry often will not go so far as like the Crimson Vigil. Like they'll go way further, right? And the so I would say like the ministry wouldn't necessarily be like pro blood witches, but they would say like if you have to work with a blood witch to achieve your goals, like just don't become a blood witch, okay? Like that shit's going too far because ultimately blood witches kind of are counter in some ways to the religion of that the ministry is kind of devoutly devoted.
Yeah.
Saying the word that makes me upset.
But
How dare you?
Marguerite Molly Duval is still a drow, right? That sounds like a drow name.
Yeah, so blood witches are kind of a weird category of people in that they are both people who have been converted to become blood witches who were humans or drow or whatever, and also people who are like many generations born of the heart or born of the unreality and like others that you have kind of briefly come in contact to in the heart. I think we talked about this like 2 or 3 sessions ago. Um, Less drow or human or elf or elfier, right? And more kind of like some other thing that is this kind of evolution of creatures from of people from drow or from human or something. So you don't actually know for a fact that because Molly is a blood witch, Molly would be a drow.
Understood.
Does that all
Okay.
track?
But definitely not an Elfier.
As far as you know, yeah. I mean, like the likelihood of of Molly being Elfier is very low, from your estimation, both based on her name and based on the fact that she's a blood witch. Not really the Elfier thing. So, yeah, Saren will kind of be like, I mean, I don't feel great, but I can probably get you out of the heart. And to be honest, I think we mentioned this last time, but or the first time we came through on the way in, the season's changing and the next what's coming up doesn't look as nice as what it currently is. And you can stay, but I just want you to know that the longer you're here, the more you risk being here during the rot. And it's not, this is the nicest the heart gets. And you saw what it was like. So I just want you to be aware that if you stay, it gets worse next, soon.
Edic is packing. He's good to go. He had to spend the night without Byron, so things get a little testy.
It's definitely ready to leave.
Okay, then
Sure.
let's go to break and we'll pick up with the group heading out from the heart and heading up to Spire once again. So it's 8:17 by my clock, so let's say 8:30 because we never actually only take 10 minutes, but players, let's do our best to be back by 8:27-ish so that we might go live at 8:30 or 10:27-ish if you're on the East Coast. And who knows, maybe Tyler will have appeared by then, maybe not. We'll find out the fun way. And in the meantime, thanks to you all for being here watching, and we'll see you in 10 minutes. Hey, these are the things Spire is sponsored by.
This is round 2 of Spire tonight, sponsored by Rachel. Go ahead.
This is tiny largemouth shark.
Sarah.
This is finger squirrel holding a small SMOL beaver.
And Sam.
This is a deer with a set of antlers comprised of candles, and it's a bookmark. How cool is that?
That is pretty
Sponsored by
cool.
bookmarks.
And this is a set of 3 banana stickers.
Woo.
That's what we got. Some good
my
sponsors
glasses.
lined up for the second half of today.
Oh my
I'd
gosh,
also-
leave it there.
I'd also
like-
like
do
to
you like
shout
glasses,
out
Jack? I'm sorry.
It's an accessory.
that we have already got our first donation in. Rachel donated a decent chunk of money that I am matching, and I have submitted it to my company. So her donation has now been tripled somehow through math.
Ew.
So
Can you
yeah.
remind viewers and Sam how to link your company here?
Yeah, so to anybody who's interested in donating to any LGBTQ plus organization, we encourage the Trevor Project, but there are a ton of good ones out there. If you go ahead and donate anywhere between $20 to $50 and you send me a receipt, I will then match that donation and send my receipt to my company. So I'll do all the company side stuff, and they are matching both they have people that are matching the donation personally for smaller donations, and they also have people who are donating $10 per unique donor. So every time I donate, well, I've already done one donation, but every time I donate under a different name, we get an extra $10. And I spoke with the organizer and some of the people donating, and they agreed that since I'd be doing this, that I could submit as like Ava and Rachel. And so now that's a unique name. And so the next time I can submit as Ava and Sam, and it gets an extra $10 per every unique donor matcher, which I think we're up to 4 now. So it's an extra $40 plus whatever we end up matching.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Ava,
Love
if you will pop your username or whatever,
Oh,
however people
yeah.
could contact you in the chat again, if that's fine. You can also
Oh, that's not it. I thought I still had it. Whoops. Here we go. That's it.
that's not
If
it.
you'd like to reach me at Discord at Pepper number 7781, not that large string of Japanese concerning Japanese dictionaries and extension add-ons. That would be great.
Thank you, Ava. That's amazing.
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Rocky Man. That's excellent. Thank you, anyone who considers donating. Like we said, like Ava said, we've highlighted the Trevor Project. Tons of good LGBTQ support groups, charities, etc. out there. So we are super excited for that. So let's get into it. Let's see. Y'all are gonna make your way out of the heart, back up to Spire. So let's see here. Theron is moving a little slowly after their difficult, we'll say, night. But nevertheless kind of guides you with confidence out of the haven. As soon as you're out of the haven, it feels like you're going a different way. And when, if someone raises this, Saren is just like, I'm going the way that's out, and won't really elaborate on how this is determined or anything like that. And they take you through another like set of tunnels where again you've got this weird kind of, it seems like maybe it's alive, you're in a living organism of some kind. And you are noticing now that Saren has mentioned to you that like the season is changing. You are like, it feels like this tunnel is maybe narrower than it was the day before, like whereas before like 3 of you could walk, shoulder to shoulder real comfortably through these, like now like you're kind of expecting that, and you start like squeezing and bumping into each other, and you have to start going in 2s instead of in 3s moving forward in certain places. And you get to an area where before you had kind of it wasn't like a pleasant smell down here, but you get this like cross section of breeze that comes across this other corridor, and it just smells rotten, like rotten flesh or rotten meat, just kind of, you know, coming your way now. And Saren is like, "Yep, we better keep moving." And you kind of see up ahead this very bizarre scene, and as you get closer, you hear it, and Chu hears very similar sounds to what um, was through that kind of like box in the wall. And it seems like there is some kind of like marketplace that you have come across.
Ooh, I love marketplace.
And Saren kind of like holds you all back a little bit as you're approaching, and is just like, I mean, we can go in there. That's totally fine. I just want you to know that things are weird in the heart, and you're not from here, and that's going to be a shit show. So, like, go in there if you want to and, like, haggle for things if you want, but things aren't the same down here. So are we going to the marketplace? We're passing it by.
Look at look at look at me and tell me that we're not going to the marketplace.
We're not going to the marketplace.
Wrong again, friend. She turns into the marketplace.
I'm in
We
massive
going to let
debt.
her go alone?
I mean, I cannot spend. I don't have spendingness.
Spending this. Uh,
Spending it.
Saren kind of like pats you on the shoulder and is like, Den means nothing down here. It's not about how much silver you have.
It's about how many fingers you have and small banana stickers.
How long is this going to take?
Probably a couple days in real lifetime.
I mean,
Um,
Too real. Scale it
Elise,
back.
would Edic have any sense for how long it would take Byron to, make the suit of armor into, what he was hoping for?
um, I I don't think so. I don't think that you've really attempted something quite like this, like restoring magic to something before. And you do have the impression that like Byron can remind me when we had you go and talk to Byron, was there a beseech demon roll that happened, or was it just like you handed off to Byron and said like do what you can do, and Byron did his best? It was like I'll do what I can. I think it was the latter, right?
It was the latter. I didn't roll a beseech demon. I'm happy to like roll one in retrospect when we
No,
get
no,
up
no,
there
no,
if you
no,
want.
no need for that at all. I was just making sure that like there hadn't been something like that in place already. And so yeah, so what you're kind of thinking about it, and you're like, within Byron's capabilities, within your own, with what you know, what he knows, he could be, will probably take him some time. And if you help, it might go faster. It might also be like a more successful thing, like with both of you working on it, as opposed to like just one of you working on it, like the two brains better than one
Yeah.
approach of like the creative mind. So you're not sure, but you think probably not enough time has passed for Byron to have made significant progress, and you're interested also in helping if you can to kind of fulfill the vision that you have.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, as if you Chu kind of leads all of you on into this marketplace that is somewhat stable. So Saren is kind of walking along with Chu and is like, yeah, with something like this, the more people who believe that this exists, the more stable it is. So this marketplace has been around for a while. It's one of the more stable places. And if you it looks like, with the season changing, there's an art festival maybe. That's pretty normal around season changes. Some of the religions down here think that like art festivals and season will make profitable seasons for people who worship their gods and stuff. It, listen, I don't pretend to understand it. And yeah, as you kind of come into it, you do find that there is a kind of as you enter, it is I think Edic, you would be familiar with this religion. There's a human god of technology that is worshipped in Spire in very small amounts, very few places. There aren't many humans in Spire at all, and humans who kind of have their own churches and religions and things, even more few and far between that you would find at like an established church or something. But you are familiar with Garrick, the god of technology that humans worship. Humans are more often than not the people in Spire who are doing retro engineering and creating kind of technological advancements. And it is not and like the this god is kind of worshipped as a god of like discovery, and not typical to find a big church to him anywhere up in Spire, but down here there's this kind of art festival going on, and like as you kind of get within range of it, I think Edic, you become quite interested actually, because a lot of these art pieces are kind of like scrap metal and things that have been found around uh, around the heart, some things from Spire, some things that you've never seen before, that you wouldn't even know what they are to begin with. And Ava can take it from here as the new GM.
Okay, yeah. So all of you randomly walk around
Yeah,
and
it's
find
over.
items capable of destroying the entire planet.
My
Too
internet
late.
loves to cut out around 11 o'clock.
What was what is the name of this like god of technology?
Garrick,
Garrick.
Garrack.
Garrick?
A-C-K, no I.
ACK. Okay.
And yeah, you see several people who are kind of like showing off their wares or their artwork, are have these uh implants in their skin, similar to how body modification is very common in Spire, um, with like metal pieces that are in their bodies, steel bones kind of exposed under flesh in a way that it reminds you it is not the same. I will say straight up, you don't think that EO, was it EO?
Yes, EO.
No, not EO. I'm sorry. Galena, the shopkeeper up in the Silver Quarter. Remember, she showed you this kind of like spot in her heart where her flesh was open and you could actually see like a metal heart instead of her flesh heart. It's not the same as that, but you do get a sense that like maybe the surgeries that produced this look are similar. You don't think that Galena is a worshiper of Garrick. But these people are clearly worshippers of Garrick, and they have these metal implants
And
in
these
their
are
body.
humans?
Similar to what my answer with the blood witches are, yes, humans. There are some drow, but there are also people that you would have a hard time placing any type of lineage by looking at them. And this is in part because, and Saren can even kind of be narrating some of this to you, like the longer that people down here have their own offspring who then have offspring, the less that there is this kind of connection to racial lineage of Spire, and it changes, being down here, it
Well, did
changes
you
people.
know that humans actually originate from a vast island that's far to the west? They're not from around here like we are. Not even that we're technically from around here, but
What's
they're
an
from.
island? I mean, like, I know conceptually. Have you ever seen an island, Alvi? I
Of
don't
course
know
not. I mean, I've
if
seen
they
pictures
exist.
in ancient texts, but
I mean, to have that much water that there could be then land, this
It
is
is
making my head hurt.
I
preposterous.
mean,
It's
things exist
preposterous.
outside of what you see. You know that, right? That the only things that exist are not the things that exist here.
Sure, but I'm just saying that, like, it's so fucking real to imagine an ocean. Saren just like gives up and starts walking away. As
Yeah, well,
you have
fine,
experienced
okay.
many times with Saren, trying to explain themselves is not their strong suit.
I think Selen has a bit of an object permanence problem.
Yes, I think you're right. Yes, that makes sense.
Does
Yeah.
it?
Does what?
I'm going to pour
Oh,
2 different volumes of No, just be quiet. Stop.
Um, yeah, I guess I'll take a look around. I have in my notes that I need to find something nice for Byron. So that's probably what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Anything that catches my eye that I think he'd appreciate.
Okay. Yeah, you find a lot of stuff that like artistically you're kind of like you find I don't want to say like pleasing because that's up to Edic, right? But fascinating or different from what you typically find in Spire, in a way that like if you think Byron would be pleased by like an artistic um item that you could probably, barter with a an artist down here for some kind of cool artistic piece. Chu, as you kind of like go in further, you make your way through this festival. There are also shopkeepers who have kind of made a home here, have different types of like fruits and vegetables and things, all of which look very bizarre to you. And again, you kind of get the sense that much like people, agriculture down here over time, as it evolved, things that once were a banana, this is not a banana anymore, but it maybe came from bananas once, and it's so yeah, things like that are very different down here, as well as like trinkets and items and lots of practical things for sale, clothing, some books which seem to have a lot of interest and not not much stock, so high demand, low supply for books in the heart.
Yeah, I think Chu is going to be looking for somebody who deals in blood. Whether that is like she sees blood in like a trinket shop or she like looks for a more occult place, I don't know. But I think she's just gonna keep her eye out for that kind of thing. I know I did pick up some vials of like random stuff that I was planning to sell,
Yeah.
which I think we just kind of gave as like silver stress already, and that maybe it's just the fact that I have them and they have value and I plan to like use them or sell them when I get back that contributes to that. But I think she's trying to find a way to get in with this blood witch, and if she can find some like rare blood or something that maybe like I don't think she knows that much about blood witches, so she's like, blood witches like blood, right? Like let me go find some like rare cool blood to like throw her way as like an incentive to like at least listen to us without killing us immediately.
Yeah, so you do find blood witches. That is not hard to do actually down here. There's kind of like it's definitely the area in this marketplace that is least populated by the rest of the heart denizens. Um, you you see like it's not necessarily, there aren't tons of them, but there's maybe like three or four of these people kind of gathered around, and a few people meander over to their tables. But clearly on display are um, items that would be occult and unreal in the way that your understanding of blood witches makes you believe. Like, I found the blood witches,
Like a bucket of blood
like
and
a bucket of blood. Yeah, no, um,
$10.
no, more like little skulls of little animals,
Oh, okay.
like vials of things. Some are seem to have blood in them, others seem to have like uh pellets of something. Could, who knows? There's definitely eyeballs in jars, very kind of, suspended in some kind of fluid, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Chu will kind of scout out like a shop owner or something if she can find one. And once she kind of sees them, she'll like be like, oh, and like look kind of like she remembered something, and she'll step out like out of their vision real quick and pull out her makeup and start like applying makeup and using like glamour to try and like look more how they find attractive. I don't know if maybe she's like covering herself, like dousing herself in blood or something. I don't know, but
Is this for a blood
um,
witch in particular? Shopkeeper?
for
Is
the
that who?
for who I could see as like the shop owner or like
Oh,
one of
at the
the like,
blood witch kind of like stand.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I'm
Yeah,
like targeting one for shenanigans.
okay. Yeah, you take your time to kind of apply and do the spell, so that's using your ability. For anyone who isn't familiar, Chu has an ability to kind of apply makeup and transform herself in small ways to look more like what the person that she's targeting finds most ideal, that they might be attracted to. So yeah, while Chu is doing that, what are others up to?
Also, just to kick in, that spell specifically says semi-legal black magic. So that's some important flavor text for this semi-illegal black magic makeup that I'm applying.
Okie doke.
Um, I feel like I would ask Saren, like, you know, do you know this? Do you know this market at all very well, or? Oh, geez, the way I was turning my face on my Discord looks like I'm just about to go kiss Sarah. Like Sarah's face is right in the corner of mine, and I was facing this way, and it's just like
You're on the other side of mine. I'm like reading the Spire book
your
for
face
some
was just
info.
right there, and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, um, distracted. So I'm going to ask Saren if they know the market well, and then since apparently you know me well, is there anything in the market you think that would that I would fancy, or is it not worth my time, or do you
uh,
hate markets? I don't know.
no, I mean, I come here. This is the closest market. It's also the biggest market, but the closest one to my haven. So I come here for supplies all the time. It's just, with the season changing, we've actually just walked straight into a festival. But um, um, here's the thing, Alvi. Like, if you want to get things here, you don't trade in money the way you do in Spire. So if there's something you want, you can, let me know and I'll see if I can get it for you. But
What do you trade with? I'm sorry, I
it
don't
kind of
follow.
depends on the shopkeeper. Like everybody wants different things. It's more like a barter system. It's not money. It's more like what can you do or give that person. So sometimes it's really simple, like, oh, you need a new hat and I have an old hat. Why don't we swap, things?
I do
Um,
look good at hats sometimes, and I
Oh, we
don't
could go
have
look at
one.
hats. There's a great haberdashery over here. Is that what half places are called? I think they are. I just like
Yeah, I
pulled
think the
that out of
person
my
is the haberdasher.
so a haberdashery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, and
that's for kids.
uh, you know, um, and she's Saren's like, this is this hat, the one that like kind of covers some of their face and like big brim and everything. Um, they're like, this is their work actually.
Oh, it's lovely.
Hey, thank you. They're like kind of pleased and flustered.
Well, let's go purchase a hat.
Okay. Yeah, you and Saren go over to look at a hat. And Edic, do you think you found something that caught your eye for Byron?
Yeah, so uh fun fact, what Edic saw was not something that's technically probably for sale. Um but he looked at like one of the art shopkeepers and they had like an extraordinarily thick like nose ring,
Hmm.
like one of the Taurus kind of
Hmm.
big bull
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
And I don't know, I'll let you determine what was special and unique about it other than it just being very large. Um, but what Edic does next is he kind of like scrounges around and looking for like a glass bottle and he shatters it and then he weaves some occult magic so that the what was this glass bottle is now just constantly reforming into like new animal shapes, whatever the animals of Spire, goats with hands, so on and so forth. It's just constantly changing shape into those. And uh yeah, I think he wants to offer to trade this for that nose ring.
Okay. Um, yeah, roll persuasion is it's not called
Compel.
persuade. Yeah, compel. Um, and this will be commerce. The role is commerce. The domain is commerce. And Um, I will say roll a mastery die for the production of something um, in the middle of an art festival among artists, right?
Yeah.
I think that this is you can take a mastery die on that.
All right, so that will be uh so I have compel, I do not have commerce, but I'm getting the mastery and then my base D10, so
Yes, so
3d10.
3d10.
Hey, that is a critical success, baby.
A critical success.
Matt
Y'all have
did
not rolled.
say, yeah, we've rolled really well. Matt did say make them nostrils clap, so just needed to say that out loud.
Semi-thick nose ring. Yeah, so the kind of the shifting the glass, I think it's the medium of glass. The artist that you kind of present this to with this nose ring, just like takes it and like watches it change, and it's just like such an interesting medium. I never would have thought to work with. As if like glass is like a bizarre art medium, in a way that just like inspire you'd be like, really? But down here, like apparently, especially among these people, seems to really kind of, and like as they watch, like it shifts into like a little Lola, and I think even with like a little feather in Lola's hair
Bruce.
because she was a show goat. And as this happens, the artist is just like captivated, and they're like, a goat with hands. It's just it really I don't know, but it just it speaks to the ever-changing nature of life and the seasons at the same time. I think this is exactly the kind of good luck piece I'm looking for. And yeah,
Do you want to know what speaks to me?
what?
Your your most intriguing nose ring. I would
Oh,
very much like to remove it from your nostrils.
Why'd you phrase
oh.
it like that?
Things getting things getting weird over here. No, they kind of
Kidding?
they're like, oh, I make all my jewelry myself. And as you kind of as they say this, you see like piercings in their ear that are also like just very big compared to like typical piercings. You know, like that seems to be the kind of theme. They're like, I've never considered selling them or anything like that, but I suppose is the experience of you I keep slipping into Saren. That's not the NPC. Is the experience of you removing it. I think that's part of the f- the expression that we're trying to get. So and she just kind of like leans closer and like offers you now her nose for you to remove the nose ring.
Uh, that part Eddic
So
was
much
not
more than Eddic
necessarily,
bargained for.
Eddic is a little bit flustered, but then he's like, okay, okay, and then he like starts to like unscrew the one bulbous end,
Hmm.
and then like pulls it through the septum.
Unscrew the bulbous end.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yep. And yeah, as you do this, she kind of like steps back and like holds the glass goat, the little glass Lola that has not yet shifted into something else yet, and kind of nods to you and says, so is this, you seem to maybe be a surface person, and I want to make sure that your understanding of what just happened is the same as mine. Is this a trade?
I believe so, but if you must consider it something, let's consider this interaction a most incredible work of art.
As she like holds out a hand. She's not she doesn't like touch Edic without consent here. I'm not trying to make this as like creepy as maybe it seems with like the nostrils. But like holds out a hand to kind of like it's not quite like a handshake, it's more like an up gesture like this. One that Edic, you're not familiar if this is either something she's just doing or is something maybe heart denizens do that Spire folk don't. But is kind of just holding her hand out to you.
Um, I like whatever hand she's doing that, I use the same hand, so it's like going like that. Uh, and I just hold mine out and quizzical look on my face. Uh,
um, yeah, and she's like, "Oh, interesting, interesting," and then like flips her hand over into yours, and just kind of like squeezes a little. It's like a very odd, like what would be like instead of sideways handshake, like not sideways. What's this?
vertical
Yeah, I guess, and like just kind of like this strange like thumb hug on your on your hand.
hand hugs.
Very COVID
Whole
safe
interaction is
comparatively is
buck wild.
artists. And then as she steps away, she holds up her hand like to as if to say like stop. This is like a stop gesture. And but not in like a upset or angry way, just in like a she's feeling the moment. She kind of holds up her hand and stop like and just goes "Mm." And then without another word turns around and walks away and starts talking to another Garrick worshiper.
Like any good work of art, it is in the moment that it matters.
So deep.
All right, let's circle back to Chew. Oh, well, let's see. What's Din up to?
So I wanted to get Saren kind of like a little away from everyone else and ask if, because I think that right now Saren is still with Alvi, right? Looking for a hat. So I think probably I would just like follow them and figure out
You want
for
a
a
hat too?
moment. No, no hat. I want a word with Saren.
Oh,
Just looking like nervous, like
Oh, uh, yeah. Alvi, you find a hat you like. I'll what's up? Din
I should have said like done.
done.
Um, is there anything around here that might be anti-demon weaponry, charms, anything that's gonna protect me from demons?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not surprised to hear you asking. Um, seems like you kind of got shook up there, kid.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Anti-demon stuff. Here's the thing down here, demonic energy is amplified. It's different. It's why eidolons aren't safe down here. People, demonic things are coveted in the heart because if they're stable or useful down here, means access to power that can be huge. So if there's something here that works like that, you're going to have to find the right person and pay the right price.
You have any leads, any contacts?
I know a person, and they kind of look over and make sure that Alvi is still kind of consumed with observing hats. Um,
this vacation is playing in the background.
yeah,
This is
Yes,
stuff.
absolutely.
it's the meme. It's here. And then
Bowler hat.
yeah, kind of leads you away. There's a part of the market like down a street away from the festival a bit. And they lead you down that street and they take you into there's kind of these like cloth and wood or something like wood. Part of it seems to be made out of bone of something, but not all of it. And these like heavy leatherish kind of cloths that hang. And they kind of pull it back and they're like, in here, you might uh ask let me ask for I'm so bad at like names just happening.
I mean, when I'm running a game, the names that it just happen are usually
Like
like Dave or
I got you
Steve.
back. I
Jennifer.
could give you a name.
So
No, well, I mean, like
Tiggledorp.
no, we're not
Tickles.
using that.
Tiggledorp the wizard. He's a
Um,
weird one.
Serious business, PM.
uh, listen, there's someone in there. There's a person I know here who specializes in fighting demons. That's not the right word. There's not really demons to fight down here in the same.
Double tap.
But go look for Fermius, and they're through here. I have to. I You can tell them I sent you, but they prefer to deal one on one. And they kind of hold the curtain aside for you, and assuming you duck in, they'll head back to Alvi. Okay. Yeah. So, Alvi, did you find a hat?
Oh man, I feel like Alvy would absolutely get like a freaking newsboy cap or something and just have like big frizzy curls coming out the bottom as it just like yeah.
Or like a trucker hat.
Yeah, and Saren, you kind of like observe Saren do the bartering. Saren offers essentially like Saren is paying for this hat for you, but is a known entity in this area and has like good reputation, good credit, if you will, with these folks, and offers like services, right? So as someone who is kind of a
Oh, wait, do you
sage
think this
or
hat is good though?
oh,
Did I choose a good hat? Was this the wrong hat? I don't know.
no,
I'm kind of new to hats. You look good in hats. You know about hats. Is this a good hat?
Alvi,
Should I
this
choose
hat
a
looks
hat?
great on you.
You.
So sincere.
I like that hat. I like it the most because you picked it.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. I'd often pick the things that I wear because who else would pick them? That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever watched the show Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency? Okay. There is a character in it, and it is a woman named Bart, and Elise's Saren voice sounds just like her. And it's just, we've started watching it recently with a friend, and it's just throwing me off because she's also like a super insane murderer assassin. And so, like, it's just really, it's good times.
Like Saren learned to flirt from 7th grade Matt. Yes,
Yeah.
Saren is definitely doing doing their best. um yeah, is this the hat you decide to go with?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, and Saren kind of offers like more like services essentially in exchange, like a promise for services fulfilled. And as you can kind of tell, like, you know, whatever Saren is to these people, um there are certainly people who are out for Saren's blood, as you know firsthand, like the cultists, but also a lot of people who seem to find that what the service that they provide is one that is very valuable, and they seem very well liked here, and uh, procure the hat for you without much trouble. Chew, you, as
Yeah,
you,
what is sorry, what does a blood witch's ideal partner look like?
um, you, if you had a mirror, what you would see, because I guess you don't get to really, Chew doesn't get to know,
I
but
have a compact
yeah, you have
mirror
a
in my
compact,
makeup
sure.
set.
As
Yeah.
well as like a foldable stage and a microphone.
And
Never
little
forget.
banana stickers.
Banana stickers for sure. It's currency here. Um, you are gaunt, much more gaunt, kind of
Nice.
uh very, very like thin,
Yeah.
to the
She's
point
going
of
for
like
that
emaciated.
starved look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it and paler than Chew is. You know, Chew's coloring, like many drow, is kind of in the grays and purples kind of, and the coloring that you take on for this is um more along like a pinkish gray rather than a purplish gray, if that makes sense. You've kind of um put on like
Yeah.
almost like a different kind of complexion to look a little more maybe human, but maybe human drow, like half and half. It's hard to know for sure obviously, because things change wildly from person to person, but that would be your kind of like guess. But also like very kind of has never seen the light of day. Not that many drow have either. And your hair is like much like you had to kind of like pull it back and away from your face, and kind of like as you did so use like some of your cosmetics and things to kind of like make it feel worse to you, but to this person it's kind of like
They
apparently
like that
attractive for it
just
to
out
be
of
kind of
bed,
yeah,
emaciated skeleton with
yes,
tousled hair look.
exactly. Yeah, and
The
yeah,
classic.
classic. And you kind of approach, and as you do, the one person that you've kind of singled out as like the this looks like the person who's kind of in charge here, that you've done this spell for.
They're like,
They
"Oh, let me go get my boss."
yeah.
Just like,
No.
"Fuck."
No, she's like behind the desk or behind the table full of wares. The other witches who are around, like a couple of them are kind of to the side tending things or talking to each other. And as they see you approach, like the ones who are not the person that you've chosen to be like your target, like scatter like cockroaches. They are not interested in being here as you approach. And they are out of the way, and it is just you and this person, this woman. And yeah, she is unlike you. The person that you have become is very different from the person that she is. She's kind of much rounder. She is kind of on the chubby side. Has like a glowing golden complexion that you would say almost feels Alfeerish, except that it doesn't being well versed in the occult and with tricks of light and makeup and things like that to look a certain way, you don't think this is like a natural skin tone. You think that much like people dye their hair um, for cosmetic reasons, this blood witch has kind of chosen a different appearance, a glamour maybe, and made her skin this kind of glowing golden color that is Alfeerish. And her hair is very luxurious, and you think that her hair might actually be natural, unlike her skin tone. This very luxurious kind of like gray streaked brown, lots of like nice curls and things. And she kind of like puts her chin on her hand and leans forward and just like, well, hello, what is it you are looking for? Not many from the festival are approaching our little table.
And Chu will let out a blood-curdling scream. No, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry. Sorry. Chu will probably put down some of the vials of blood that she has, and she will say, "Well, uh I'm in the business of trying to make more acquaintances, perhaps in your kind of circle. And well, let's just say I'm hoping to get to know y'all a little better and maybe pick up something that would be a rare gift for a unique individual, perhaps who would find themselves in a shop much like this one. I brought some stuff that maybe would be useful for trading. Of course, I didn't want to come empty-handed. I know a little bit about how things work down here, uh, but of course, I'm always open to finding a nice guide."
And yeah, she kind of like takes the vials and looks them over and is like, this is she unstoppers one and kind of smells it and raises her eyebrows, stoppers it again. Well, if you were simply looking for a gift for someone of our persuasion, then perhaps you should keep this one. And she slides one of the vials back to you. It's the kind of black ivory-ish one that is definitely blood of something, but you don't know what. Um, However, if you're looking to trade it, I can say that that's the kind of thing that would fetch you quite a lot in our circle. Maybe not at some of the other places. And she gestures back towards like the main festival. But here, certainly offer you some items, and she starts to pull some things out and put them forward. She's, there's like a little rat skull. There's like again like a vial full of like these little pellets that you think might be some things shit. It could be. Um, there's
Awesome.
there's just lots of stuff that she's kind of showing you. And she's kind of watching you closely to see how you react to the things that she's put on the table.
Yeah, I think I will instead of focusing on the things that she's putting on the table, I think I will kind of like stay watching her instead of those things, like very clearly not like paying attention too much to them. And I'm like, oh well, like, oh, that's really interesting. Let's say I'd like to get like a little bit, rough with somewhat of your persuasion, and I needed maybe something to keep them in check should I want to come back later and not end up well, it's always best to drag the fun out. Sometimes you have to put a stop to things before it gets too far. Do you have anything that could maybe help with that, since I seem to have a gift locked down?
Now, I just need to clarify because
Not a
on the one
condom, like
hand,
a like a blood witch condom
a blood witch condom.
that I can
Blood witch diaphragm.
put on and stop things from escalating to the point where I am devoid of fluid, or, however else things happen in this kind of circle.
Let me ask, there are three potential things that you could be asking me for, and I just don't know. So
Yep, that
I
sounds
love
about
that in
right.
the chat. It's like Blood Witch Dental Day. I'm celebrating Pride. Okay. Many things you could be asking for here. Let me just make sure, because listen, I'm all for whatever it is
Hey, you and me too.
that you're after, I think. But
I don't know.
are you
Yeah,
trying to have sex with a blood witch? Are you trying to
maybe. I don't know.
kill a
Yeah,
blood witch,
slapping.
or are you trying to avoid being killed by a blood witch?
I would say that 1 and 3 are not necessarily mutually exclusive, and that they fall within the range of things that I am seeking to do. Right?
Okay. You
Does she give me like a look? She's like, I figure that blood witches. I mean, if you're gonna seduce a blood witch, I figure your life is probably on the line. My girlfriend is looking at me very strange and concerned from the distance.
um
Yeah.
I just can I clarify a second question?
I mean, you can try. I'll give it a shot, but
Are you are you trying to sleep with me or someone else?
hey, I think Chu is actually pretty like. I think Chu is just gonna be like, who knows where the night will take us. I mean, I do have a person in mind, but hey, you know what? I have you know, maybe it's like a multi-use blood witch dental dam. Don't look at me like that, please. This is Spire.
It's a pack.
It's a pack. Maybe it's like a
Oh
pack of
boy.
10
All right.
or 2. Not a 10. Not That's a lot. 2 is I mean,
Just
One for
tell
good
me what
luck.
kind of blood witch birth control you have already.
yeah, what kind of
Jeez.
blood witch birth control are you running? Do
Oh
you have a
Non-invasive.
scale?
God. All right. So
Do you have an implant or something?
definitely not where I thought this night was going, I have to say.
Neoprene for easy cleaning.
I'm
All
Elise,
right.
is it
sorry.
ever where you think?
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Um she kind of laughs a little and like takes your hand and like pulls you closer, like reaches over the table to kind of like pull you closer over, but still there's a table between you. She's,
Yeah.
and kind of like holds onto your hand a little and is just like, if you're, listen,
Yep, listening intently.
You could save yourself a lot of trouble by just walking away.
I understand that, and I don't think that my life has been one of walking away from trouble.
Then uh make a
Can I make a compel?
yes, make compel.
Do I
Uh
get mastery because I'm super sexy
does
to her? It
your
doesn't say, it just says you're super, like, it just says you're like more, I mean, I assume that it would leave it up to the GM.
yeah, I think that
Yeah, it says I just look like the person that they
yeah,
would be
I think
mad
that
about.
like yes. Okay. I want this to be a compel roll.
Oh,
And
Explanon, that's so good. I was about to correct you, be like, it's Nexplanon, and then I realized, sorry.
um
I'm so stressed.
I know
I'm trying
I'm
to decide
regretting every second of this.
what domain this should be.
High society, because I was a prostitute and am seducing somebody.
Um
Occult, because it's like occult bedroom magic.
I will take occult
Technology.
because blood witch is
Oh,
the
bedroom
occult
magic.
domain.
Okay, I
Compel and
have all of
occult.
those. So
It'll be
with mastery?
3d10. I don't know, no mastery. And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't think you would have gotten this far. Period. The benefit of the spell is that you got it to ask these questions
Yeah.
and be this direct in a way that didn't just result in other things happening.
I'm gonna roll this dice, and no matter what the outcome is, I think I'll regret it. And I think that's where I'm at in life right now.
Fair.
9.
Hey,
Y'all have not
That's pretty
failed,
good.
taken any
God, we
stress
haven't rolled
basically from
below an
anything.
8.
No, you have been rolling everything that you have like mastery or everything in, so no one's been
Yeah,
rolling
but
like a
still,
single
I've
d10
rolled
kind of
like
thing.
triple twos before.
That's true.
So.
I got a 1.
Okay.
I mean on D10s.
Yeah.
I mean, does the Church of the Deep have like an opinion about blood witches? Am I like shacking up with an enemy here, or are we like chill?
We're so close to the end of stream. I'm not looking up the that information in the book, but I will between now
That's a
and the end
very
of
fair.
between now and
I
next
think
week.
either way, she would go for it.
Here's so what she says is she's holding your hand and kind of like pulling you towards the table, and she's like, "You seem like a nice person, and I want you to know that what you are asking about, what you have offered, there's not turning back in our world from these things. If that's what you want, then
I mean,
but
isn't that what the condom's for? The metaphorical.
you're asking for something that is, how do I put it?
Please, Rachel.
Rachel, God.
No.
Let me put it this way.
So,
One, the kind of intimacy you're asking after and the kind of protection you want from potential consequences, these things are the same. You can't have one without the other in what we do. And if there's someone who's caught your eye, and she kind of raises her eyebrows, thinking perhaps it is herself, um, there you have to be sure that joining a coven, going through the trials, that this is a route you're willing to take. We don't, or that you're fine with us, you know, destroying you. And there's really no in between. So if you'd like to be a blood witch, we can start the initiation process. She kind of pulls your hand a little closer now if you'd like. But if you wouldn't, I suggest, like I said, walking away.
Chu is going to look at kind of some of the stuff that Chu took out to like show her and ask about, and is going to maybe choose something that she didn't say that I could have, or that something that isn't like the blood. And I'm going to maybe like gather the rest of the things and leave that out. And I will kind of gently pull my hand back and be like, well, when does your shop close?
Oh, it when the bell tolls 7, I don't know.
Okay, well, maybe I will let
What
me get
bell?
like a cup of coffee imbued with like rat souls, and I'll be back in, at that time, and
Gotta freshen
maybe.
up.
Yeah, I've got to freshen up. We'll see where this goes. I just look absolutely ghastly right now. And she'll kind of like wink and like gather the rest of her things and be like, you can keep that to like remember me by, as like a thank you for your time and a promise that I'll be back. And she will leave and like never look back and just like totally ghost this person. She's just done.
Well, you learned something valuable about blood witches. Also, I just want to say that like blood witches are not
Scary.
yeah, they're scary, and this one seems nice on this interaction in large part because this is more for like people at home who are like but I just remember that there are these are some nasty folk. I do
They're
like
real
the idea of
nasty.
like that, like there are actually coffee with like rat souls or whatever available for buying. Yeah, it is 9:30, so let's go ahead and wrap up for the night. We will check back in next time with Din to find out how the procuring of weapons against demons goes, and also
If
probably
Anders wants to buy
hopefully yes,
anything.
Anders will have a chance to interact with the market as well since we are still in the heart. I should have known. Shame on me for believing that something could be as simple as a 2-session excursion.
One
And
session that ended up as
yeah,
now 3,
yes, and now
now 4.
4, yes. So, but this was excellent. This was very fun. I do enjoy the kind of absolute chaos and whatever of the heart. But who knew that we were going to have another shopping episode? I feel like it was that long ago that we
I
had
just want
2
a
more of
whole
them.
campaign of shopping episodes.
Shopping
Is that
episodes with
like
Yeah,
maybe
I do like shopping.
blood witch seduction. Who knows?
what's that channel where
What
they
is a
always sell
shopping
things?
episode without a little side blood
What's
witch
the channel
action,
where they
you
Yeah.
know?
always sell things? What's
All
that like
right.
TV channel where they sell things all the time?
QVC.
Oh, yeah.
QVC, but like D&D edition, where it's like every week it's like, yeah, that'd be tight.
Let's workshop this.
All
I
right.
like
Yeah,
it.
let's workshop it.
Uh Unhinged is a great word for it, Steve. Thanks for being here tonight. Remember, you can hang out with us in Discord using exclamation point Discord to find that. You can hang out with us there. You can follow us on socials. You watch our other streams tomorrow, Montreal at 7 Mountain Time, which is going to be awesome. And then the Pride game, which we're playing like Sexy Space Wizards or something. Is that right?
Sexy Battle Wizards.
Battle Wizards. I was close. Sexy Battle Wizards. Very excited about that. That's on Saturday. And yeah, exclamation point donate to see more about cause we're highlighting this month, of course, in relation to Pride. And if you do donate, you can reach out to Ava through the Discord. And that way you can
Shout out to Sam, who has also
Heyo.
joined in. Yeah.
Whoop whoop. In order to, yeah, contribute to the Trevor Project or another LGBTQ charity that speaks to you, and Ava's company will match through both her and their generosity. So that would be great if you can. And I can't make any promises about dental dams being a part of the benefits package of donations. But hey, safe sex is good, so you can find out more about dental dams, I'm sure, through all sorts of great LGBTQ sex education websites that exist out there, as well as probably just Googling them. But who knew that tonight it's sponsored tonight by condoms and dental dams. And um
And
anything else before we go?
Hexplanon.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well then, let's call it a night. Thanks for sticking with us through planning and weird shopping and more. And we will see you next week for who knows? Maybe we'll get out of the heart. But maybe not. The rot will come and you will be stuck down here and you will just become heart denizens and who knows what'll happen in Perch.
I'm
Yeah.
banging a blood witch if that's happening.
All right. Good night,
As
everybody.
long as I can kill her while you do it.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody. Sorry for
everyone.
today. I apologize for
It
my
was amazing.
existence.
You know it. All right. Bye.